Recording this.
Podcast number 5. Park Galaxy.
Dun, 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 dun.
I wish. I'll have to look. I might have that actually on one of the cell phones.
With the recording this?
I might.
That would be so dope.
I might.
That would be so dope. I think I still have it too, to be honest.
I would love to hear that.
That clip is so good. Recording this, because it was done so perfectly when we originally did it.
So for you and those out there, it was an auto-tune app. Christ, what? 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, it was longer than that, man.
Was it longer?
Yeah, my daughter's 6, so it was before she was born.
Oh Jesus! So we're talking like a decade.
We're talking, yeah, probably closer to like 8 years.
Actually, it has to be because that's when like T-Pain came out.
Yeah.
So then his app came out.
Yeah, and the auto-tune.
The whole auto-tune. So I ended up recording this, and then did the auto-tune, and it's an inside joke with me and my boys. Obviously, the Rental knows about it. Estes knows a lot about it.
Well, this is why you often hear us go recording this. Anytime we talk about recording, it just jumps to a recording this.
Old school.
You know, it's just yeah.
Back in the
We're gonna make it
day.
a thing.
We'll have to redo that.
Once we have the soundboard, we can just hit it with that. You know.
Have to
Yeah.
whip out the old PC over here with Ableton Live.
Yeah, and see what we can find. So I think what we're talking about today is we just watched the interview with Meghan Markle and Oprah Winfrey.
That was interesting.
It was very interesting.
Because I was listening on Greg Hill, and they were like, why is this girl complaining? You know, oh, boo-hoo, poor her. But then you actually watch an interview, and you can kind of see it.
There's some seriousness there.
An outsider that, you know, got into this royal family, and she was like, oh, well, I didn't Google them. Well, you had a little bit of knowledge, but, like, when you're inside the box, it's a whole...
Like, how much knowledge do we have as Americans on the royals, you know? We fought them in the Revolution, fucking War of 1812. Like, we know about stuff like that. We don't really know what's going on with them. And now the royals are the ruling party over there. They have their parliament and stuff like that, you know, but they are the people that are in charge.
How much do you think they control?
I would say...
Realistically...
I would assume 60%.
I would have said more than half, too.
Yeah, more than half, at the very least. They have the majority share in the country, you know.
That's so crazy, but think about that, right? Out of all the bloodlines, so you got like Caesar.
Yeah.
His kids, they diminish. You just hear about him. You got, you know, all these other famous, I mean, I guess you could call them like kings and princes and all that. But this is the bloodline that has lasted the longest. You got Japanese fucking soldiers. You don't hear about their kids, their grandkids following that bloodline.
Yeah, but then you hear about the House of Windsor, which is basically their bloodline name, you know, and they have been in control of England for a long time. The House of Windsor has been
COVID
has been known as that since 1917.
So over 100 years.
Yeah, since they've been known as the House of Windsor, you know.
Yeah.
But what is the British royal family called? Yeah, the House of Windsor.
The firm, as she referred it.
The firm, like
the
that. That makes it seem very intimidating. And so you can assume that she was very intimidated. I mean, you think about it, like, you go up to somebody and you're meeting the queen of the country. Like, she thought about it as if, like, it was, oh, it's your grandma, you know, my grandma, whatever. I know how I am with my grandma. And then, like, as they're rolling up, they're like, do you know how to curtsy?
Yeah.
You know, you have to learn how to like bow and curtsy around the queen because she's the queen. It's not a president or something like that.
Now, you have a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Would you teach her how to curtsy? Because to me, I've seen very young in my day, my family have taught that.
So what I know,
it's not like you're gonna meet this person, you're gonna curtsy, but it was like, here's a line dance.
You French fucks, you guys know how to curtsy and shit.
Yeah, here's a line dance. So here's the Macarena. Like you learn the basics.
My daughter, literally, she loves her princess movies and shows and stuff like that, and she taught herself how to curtsy. I've seen her come out and just curtsy just for the hell of it, and lift her skirts up and curtsy. Real cute.
How did she learn?
Just from like watching YouTube and TV and stuff like that, like her shows that she does. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And, little girls. Sometimes some little girls like to be prissy. Like
all girls want to be princesses.
Yeah, most. Some. There's some that don't.
All right. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Some girls want to be men.
Yeah.
But still, Aubrey taught herself how to curtsy, but imagine being a person who never was like that, and then you get thrust into a situation because you fell in love with a guy, and now you have to learn how to be a royal. That's crazy. She was already kind of famous because she was on TV, she was in soap operas, stuff like that, and then she's so she know a little bit about fame, and she grew up in LA where she saw famous people all the time. And this is what she was saying. You see famous people all the time, but the royals is not the same.
It's a whole different ball game.
It is. We're talking about royalty at this point.
Yeah, you're talking about me, an actor or an actress. You're like, oh, okay,
you're famous, you're rich.
Yeah, you're rich. I seen you in a movie, and then all of a sudden you meet your grandmother, and she's on coins and stamps,
paper money.
How old is fucking?
I think she's 98, 99. How old is the queen?
Now, do you think she's getting, the medical advances to sustain her life? Vitamin shots and fucking...
I assume... She's 101 years old?
That's what I'm saying, dude. She's old.
No.
She's in her 90s.
No, that's the age of death. We gotta look at Elizabeth II.
She's in her 90s.
Elizabeth II.
89 or older.
94.
Yeah.
Yeah, 94 years old.
And with all the stem cells and everything, they could probably keep her around for a long time.
That she does something. You've seen her husband?
She has to do something.
Her husband looks like absolute dog farts, dude.
I haven't even looked.
Dude, he's got black bags under his eyes. He looks like Skeletor, man.
What's his name?
Skeletor is actually much more handsome. I'm not sure. Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh.
So, okay.
Yeah, here, I'll show you a picture right now. You want to see what this guy looks like, dude? He looks like Skeletor.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah, he does. He's
Jesus
not.
Christ.
The pictures of him are not flattering at all.
Okay, so
but he's probably not very flattering of himself because he looks like fucking dog farts.
So let me ask you a question. That's the queen's husband, and he's a prince.
Because he wasn't born in the royal lineage there, so he can only be a prince. He can never take over the kingdom.
So when's there a king?
So say
because they said in the interview, Harry's father would be the king. Who's Harry's father?
Well, say the Prince of Sweden.
We're not talking about Sweden.
Well, no, hear me out. So say the Prince of Sweden was married off to the Princess of England. He's a prince that is the first in his line that could be a king. He gets married to the first princess of whatever country, say England, then he could be a king. because he's of royal lineage, 100%, you know, and so he has the ability to be a king. You know, he has the bloodline, you know, he can be a king. So
who's the next king? Because we
the
hear
next king is her son, Philip II? Charles, Prince of Wales.
The obvious answer is that her son, Prince Charles, the next in line for the throne, will become the next King of England.
Mm-hmm.
His son, Prince William, would continue to serve under his father and likely assume his title, Prince of Wales.
Yeah.
So that's why Harry is not so afraid of speaking out, because he was like, I'm the third in line. Chances are, like, I'm not going to be, so...
That's a fact. He's the third in line. Well, no, now he's the fourth in line because Prince...
Yeah.
What was the son's name? William? William. So Prince William has a son. So now it goes the Queen and Prince Philip, you know, down to Charles, Prince of Wales, then to William, and then William's son next, before his brother.
Yeah, so Harry's over here saying, my son's going to have some color and y'all are just banishing him. So fuck you. So that's kind of what that interview was about.
That's what they were talking about, is how, like, his son, like, they were questioning what his skin tone was going to be. And that's terrible, man. That's fucked up. How could you do that, man?
Does that really surprise you, though?
It doesn't surprise me because it happens more often than you think.
That's why Princess Diana was took out. She married or was with a brown man.
Yeah.
Had a kid, and then all of a sudden, mysteriously, she dies.
It wasn't even mysteriously. It was actually fucking fanfare. Well, not fanfare, but like...
She had a brown husband and they didn't want that.
International news. Yeah, after she left Charles.
Yeah, because what person in their right mind is going to divorce from the royal family?
But who the hell wants to stay with Skeletor Jr.? They are a lot of ugly people.
But that was already a bad look. So the fact that they said, you know, we accepted this woman into the royal family and now she wants to leave, that already says a bad precedence. Like, you... Yeah.
I'm sorry. He laughed about something. I sat in a chair and the whole chair collapsed. It was funny, all right? Yeah, it sets a bad precedence.
We'll have to take a video of that because...
yeah, this chair.
That chair is very
remember our origins with this damn chair.
So, yeah, that was one of the big conspiracies, that she publicly was leaving the royal family.
She left Prince Charles.
Went to a brown man, and then supposedly she got knocked up. So they said, yo, we can't have...
Yeah, we have to end this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't have a royal stepchild.
Now, as a conspiracy theorist, that makes perfect fucking sense. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make, like...
Think about royalty over the years, I wouldn't put it past them, you know, for royalty in general.
Oh, I believe it.
You know, like, you think about,
I believe that shit all day.
The Japanese shoguns and stuff like that, like, they would kill... They would have their own kids or people's kids commit seppuku just because of the honor of the family. You know?
So I Googled this. Why is Prince Philip not a king? Prince Philip does not have the title of king simply because the law of succession in Britain is based on gender and not bloodline.
Really?
The parliamentary law means that when someone marries a king or a queen, they become known as a consort. Yeah. However, the titles change depending on the gender.
Yeah, but
that's interesting.
But if it was like somebody who was next in line to be, like I was saying, the guy who's next in line to be king of Sweden marries a queen.
What's your thing about Sweden?
It's just the first thing that came to my mind, honestly.
It's like the third time you brought it up.
Yeah, but that's what I was already talking about. So, like, if somebody is the crown prince of Sweden, who's next in line to become king of Sweden, and he marries the princess of England, who's, like, next in line to become queen or whatever, then I guess he would be a king. But
I always thought it was just bloodline, son, daughter, son, and then let's say the king didn't have a son, then had a daughter.
Would be queen.
The daughter, whoever they married, that guy would be the king.
Yeah.
That's how I.
But if it's outside of the family, I guess, they don't want to give it to him, you know? Outside the family. And, like,
if the royal family didn't, let's say, last 4 generations, which obviously isn't possible, the last 4 generations didn't have a son, there'd be no king.
Impossible.
There'd be no king unless you were married into it. So one of the daughters would have to marry, then would that be a king?
But in order for the person to, well, no, like, look at Prince Charles, you know? She married him, and he's still Prince Charles. And he's Prince Charles of Wales, you know? So because she married him, he's a prince, he's not a king. But if, like I said, if somebody was, you know, the crown prince of, screw it, let's go to Switzerland this time, you know?
Of course we're going to Switzerland.
Yeah, so if you're the crown prince of Switzerland and you marry the crown princess of Spain, then you can create a king and queen.
I bet you she'd be fine as fuck.
Switzerland and Spain.
No,
their
just
child.
Spain.
I'm just saying. When that child grows up to be about 18, that girl's going to be fly. She's going to be blonde with tan skin. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like my wife. My wife is like
ancient accent.
Oh. My wife has dark hair. My wife's French and Italian. So she's absolute French gorgeous and, like, absolute fiery Italian. You know, she's a firecracker. You know, you never know when that fuse is going to get lit. You know, but she is absolutely beautiful and she's amazing. You know, sometimes she can be a bitch, but it is what it is. You know, but she's super awesome. You know, otherwise I wouldn't have married her and got this cool meteorite ring. You know?
Let's talk about that ring.
You want to talk about my meteorite ring?
Let's talk about that meteorite ring.
I'm excited to talk about my meteorite ring because, so, the reason that I have the meteorite ring.
So, first of all, explain what the ring is to people.
So, we'll go back down to the beginning, okay? So, Kelly and I had been together for a long time, had a child together, decided we wanted to get married, and we got married on Halloween night, 2018.
You got married on Halloween?
Yeah, my anniversary is Halloween every damn year.
That's dope.
Yeah, Halloween is very important to me. I grew up in the Witch City, grew up in Salem, Massachusetts. Halloween was huge for us. You know, tourist season, me and my buddies would go out there and have a good amount of fun. You know, so Halloween's important to me. And then I met Kelly, and she loves Halloween too. You know, right into that.
That's cool.
So when we were talking about getting married and stuff like that, you know, I bought her ring. It was just amazing. It's an amazing ring. Her engagement ring is more than I make in a month. You know, I'm not even joking.
Well, they say typically you're supposed to quotations
3 months.
3 months of your salary towards a ring.
Yeah, and that's
I don't really buy that. A month is good enough.
That makes sense when you make like minimum wage.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But yeah,
especially in the pandemic. Like a month worth of salary for a ring. Yeah.
It's like a month and a half of my salary at the time, you know. So I bought her that ring and
anyways, get to yours.
I knew she really liked it. So when we got married and I needed to get my ring, I can't. I'm a cheap fuck for myself.
Can I see that again?
Yeah, here, yeah, you can see it. Okay. I'm a very cheap fuck for myself. I don't like to buy myself expensive things. You know, I like to have a truck that works. You know, some boots that work, a mattress that works. You know, but I don't like to buy myself expensive stuff except for my video games and shit. you know? So I bought myself a cheap silver ring. It was like $7 on Wish.com or something like that, or Amazon, you know, and I lost it after a week. And then I bought myself like a titanium ring, a tungsten ring. I've gone through like 7 rings, and I've lost them quickly. They were cheap. Every single ring I've ever owned was under $10. But I found a website called Jewelry by Johan, and they make amazing rings.
Shout out to them.
They do meteorite rings, dragon bone, stardust, whiskey barrel, all kinds of cool wood, you know, all mixed together with like different metals and stuff. And I noticed this ring right here, and it'd be nice to actually post a picture of this ring, you know, on the podcast. But I noticed this ring right here.
I might do that once we finish this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow,
I can send you a picture of it.
Yeah,
really cool.
Throw a picture, and then it'll probably be in the comments. I'm not going to throw in the video. I'm not going to.
Not a big deal. Yeah, throw it in the comments.
Yeah,
you know, so this ring right here I found, and it was it's titanium and meteorite. It's Gibeon meteorite. It's got it's a titanium ring with a band of Gibeon meteorite around it. And I've been staring at that thing for hours. I just received it today. I just got it today and have been wearing it. But I can't find a seam on the meteorite. So that means that they did some really cool stuff.
Explain exactly. So when people hear a meteorite, they're like, what the fuck is that? Explain exactly that shit.
It's a space rock that fell to Earth.
Yeah.
You know, and the people at Jewelry by Johan bought that meteorite so that they could make rings out of it, you know, so they can make jewelry out of it. And the second I saw that ring with that tight little band, it's a thick ring, it's a fat ring, you know. The second I saw that, I fell in love with it. It is the ring that I've been staring at for almost 3 years. Like I've always wanted a platinum ring, you know, before I got married, and then when I found this one, I'm like, this is the one. And it's not even that expensive. And like I'm staring at it for almost 3 years, and like, oh, should I buy it? I shouldn't buy it, because there's always something that I can do with that money. And about 2 months ago, a month and a half, I just pulled the trigger on it. I said, screw it. I'm going to do it. And I bought it. And it just came in today. And it is absolutely beautiful.
It's a gorgeous ring.
Yeah.
And just the fact that it comes from...
Thank you, by the way.
Outer space.
Comes from outer space. And so the thing about this is that meteorite is like pure space iron. So I have to run... gun oil on this to keep it from oxidizing. And you researched, as we were talking off air, you researched this company, so I asked him, you know, it could be bullshit. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you know for facts?
And I've looked into the company, I've looked into a lot of the comments and ratings and people that are leaving, what's the word? After you bought something? Jeez, brain fart.
Reviews.
So I looked at all the reviews, and people are very happy, you know, and, you know, they buy these materials just to make them. So I'm not concerned as to whether that meteorite is real. I believe it is, you know, and from everything I've read.
You were saying they also do, like, dinosaur bones?
Yeah, they do dinosaur bone, all kinds of different woods. If you want, like, an oak barrel ring, they'll make it for you. You know, like really cool stuff. So if you ever have the opportunity, you know, check out Jewelry by Johan. It's JOHAN, Johan, and just check out their rings. They're amazing. You know, they make such beautiful fucking pieces of jewelry. And like I said, I was staring at this thing for almost 3 years.
You were saying that
before I pulled the trigger on it, and I'm so happy with the product that I got. You know, it's absolutely amazing. Brushed titanium with a Gibeon meteorite band running through it.
What's a Gibeon? What's that mean?
Gibeon meteorite is the name of the meteorite.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm so happy. And I'm wearing a piece of space. You know, I've always been obsessed with outer space.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I'm wearing something that came from a different place, something that's not from Earth, on my fucking finger.
Well, I can attribute to that to, like, I wear this. It's not fucking from outer space, but just something on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Metallic.
Yeah, wearing some metal.
Kind of means that, but that literally is a whole different world.
Yeah.
Like, legit.
It might have been a planet that fucking got crushed when a bigger meteor hit it, you know?
No idea.
Who knows?
Now, do they go into detail? We're saying, like, where this material was found?
Well, nobody really knows that it came from anywhere.
No, I'm not saying where it came from. I'm saying, where it found, like, on Earth.
I can probably look up Gibeon meteor and find out where it landed here on Earth.
That'd be pretty cool.
You know, let's take a look. I'm gonna hit Google up real quick and look up Gibeon. I think it's 2 B's, EON, meteorite.
I gotta take a leak.
Yeah, there's my iPhone telling me it's time to go to bed. We're not going to bed just yet.
Time to bed.
Yeah. Where is this Gibeon meteorite? So, Gibeon is a meteorite that fell in prehistoric times in Namibia. It was named after the nearest town, Gibeon. So, it was found in 1838. The fall date was prehistoric. The structural classification is fine octahedrite, which I'm pretty sure is just a fancy name for space iron. But when you look at the meteorite on this, it's got very distinct lines, almost like a crystalline formation. And honestly, it is gorgeous. You know, it's very simple, but it is so beautiful. And I'm so glad that I finally have it on my finger. You know, my wife loves it. I love it. And, you know, it's nice to finally have it as opposed to the $10 rings that I used to buy. Let me look a little bit further into the Gibeon meteorite. So, region, it was found in Namibia. The region was Great Namaqualand. Nobody observed the fall, obviously, because it's prehistoric. Found in 1838. History. The meteorite was discovered by the Nama people and used by them to make tools and weapons. In 1836, the English captain J.E. Alexander collected samples of the meteorite in the vicinity of the Fish River and sent them to London. There, John Herschel analyzed them and confirmed for the first time the extraterrestrial nature of the material. So he basically was like, this is not from Earth, you know. And everything that I'm reading to you right now is from Wikipedia. It's straight off their website. So between 1911 and 1913, 33 fragments of the meteorite were collected in the vicinity of Gibeon and brought to the capital of Windhoek. That's Windhoek.
What the fuck is that?
It's in Namibia.
Oh.
Yeah, in Africa. They weighed between 195 and 506 kilograms. So there's a good amount of meteorite there.
That's a good chunk of change.
Yeah, there's a good amount of meteorite. They were first stored, then displayed at Zoo Park as a single heap. So a bunch of pieces of this meteor just piled up, and this is a meteor, you know. In 1975, a public fountain displaying the meteorite fragments was planned. The pieces were removed and stored at Alta Festa, where 2 of the fragments were stolen. The fountain was erected in Post Street Mall with 2 empty pillars for the missing fragments. Since then, 2 more fragments were removed from the fountain, so that it displays only 29 today. So apparently they got their hands on this somehow, you know. So they got this Gibeon meteorite that is a prehistoric meteorite, you know, and now I get to wear it on my finger every day to symbolize my love for space. I mean, my wife. You know, but
nice.
No, but seriously, I mean, it's a great symbol for me because I've always been. We've talked about it before. Like,
kind of wraps away everything.
Yeah, I'm a moon child. You know, I stare up at space very often. I have a fucking
Telescope?
A telescope. I had a brain fart. Couldn't remember what a telescope was.
You had a bunch of those.
Yeah, so I have a telescope that I use often, and I plan to bring the kids out this summer and just get some good views. We have a lot of meteor showers coming up. There's, with the Perseids that come up in August, so like, I like to see these things.
You know what I kind of want? I want to one-up you.
What's up?
I want a piece of Mars, piece of the moon in a ring.
Good luck.
I bet you it can happen.
It will happen.
Eventually, I bet you will.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Wishful thinking.
As of right now, I don't think we have any. Do we? Do we have any like satellites that have returned from Mars?
Yes, I actually watched it live footage. I watched from Mars when the newest one landed. I watched the first 2 photos actually live on air.
Yeah, so we have satellites on Mars, or we have rovers on Mars.
Mars is the only planet that we know now that has robots on it.
Well, no, it's the only planet that's solely inhabited by robots that we know of.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I watched it. It was on YouTube. It was a whole big thing because it was landed. So I was watching the control room and listening to, everything that was going on. There was probably 30 people in the room. And I watched it from about 200 miles up, listen to how it came down. And then they did the first picture. And then about 20 minutes later, the second picture comes out. Because I forget the exact minutes that they were saying, but it takes almost like a half hour to actually send
onto Mars.
Yeah, because Mars is a long fucking way away from
here.
You know what I mean?
So as of right now, there are no samples returned from Mars.
No, but that's what this one is collecting.
Yeah, but so did the last one. They collect them and they analyze them.
They tried it.
Well, they analyze them and they send back the information that they analyze.
Right, but this one, it actually has tubes built into the machine where they're going to dig and it brings it up and they're going to encapsulate it and now they have a way of shooting it back to Earth.
No fucking way.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome.
That's the plan. So we'll see if it happens.
You can get Stardust from Jewelry by Johan, definitely. They have Stardust rings, which I believe is like lunar powder, which is awesome. Some sand from the moon. Yeah, I'm obsessed with the moon.
If anything, I would get something from the moon.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're both moonchilds.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. When it comes down to a lot of people have religions and they pray to God and stuff like that. I have a weird thing about me where I look at the moon and I talk to the moon. I don't think I'm crazy, people that are listening, but I look at the moon and I call him Brother Moon.
I have one.
When I talk to him, I pray basically to the moon. When I have a problem, I talk to the moon.
I have one
I can't talk to anyone else.
I have. And it's funny too because I thought of this and I used to do it, and then George Carlin mentioned it. Talk about your God and this and that, who you pray. And then he did a skit about, I pray to Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
The previous skit, he was talking about the sun. You want to believe in a God, something that gives you life, gives you light. I can't see Jesus. I can't see God. I can see the sun.
Yeah.
The sun brings me light, brings me warmth. So I pray to the sun. Now, I personally don't pray to the sun, but it's something.
I don't pray to the moon, but
right?
It's just an object that I can speak to in my head or even out loud. When I can't speak to somebody else, and I just talk to them about my goals and what I want to do.
I'll do that when it's a full. You know those moons that just catches your eye and catches your attention.
Well, the moon catches my eye and attention no matter what. In the middle of the day, when I see the moon just hanging up out there, oh hey,
Right.
That's just how I am. Anytime I see the moon, I talk.
You give a little.
Yeah, just a nod to it.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think so many cultures had sun gods? The Mayans and shit, they worshipped sun gods, and that's because they were talking to the sun. Because this is a divine entity in the sky. which the sun is. It's a giant nuclear reactor that is making sure that we are able to exist. If we didn't have the sun, we'd be fucked. You know?
When do you think the sun will evaporate? Or do you think it will evaporate?
I think it might eventually. But
It's going to run out. It's going to become.
Not going to be for billions of years.
It's going to become a dwarf.
So
just like all of them are, a star eventually dies, and I think with all that solar power, now we can't even really look at the sun. We can do it through telescopes and stuff, but we can't boots on the ground, let's say. You know what I mean? We can't get on the sun's surface to actually evaluate it. So we got to look at it from millions and millions and millions miles away. Now, we only have research within, a couple hundred years observing other stars. We really haven't seen another sun. Now, I'm not a scientist, so I could be wrong, but we haven't seen another sun like ours have died. Now, that's what they say is a red dwarf. From what I've researched a little bit, they have found one of those.
Yeah, so they have found red dwarfs. Yeah, so it's basically like a sun that is like burning down.
It's a sun that died.
Yeah, and they've also found red giants.
But now they're saying that when a sun dies, somehow it becomes a black hole.
So with the
black holes are very interesting.
The theory behind that is that the sun eventually, or the star itself,
collapses.
Because suns are all stars. It collapses in on itself and essentially creates a singularity where it's an infinitely small piece of matter that is so heavy and with gravitational force that it just keeps on. It's just infinitely small. It's just sucking everything around because the gravity is so intense, and so that's the theory.
Do you believe in the Big Bang?
I'm not sure what to believe with that, but my beliefs are.
Like, I'm not even talking on the podcast right now. Do you believe in the Big Bang? Because a little small, they're saying a fucking speck turned into all of this.
Well, it was infinitely small with all kinds of matter in it, like just atoms, If you take out all the space between atoms and compress them, I mean, I guess you'd have a really small fucking point, and everything is matter. Like, you and I are just space dust.
Right.
So the Big Bang is a tough one for me because in my understanding of everything, it is absolutely impossible for anything to exist at all. It's absolutely impossible.
But it happened.
That we know of, but still, it's.
What do you mean? We're here.
Still, I've taken a lot of mushrooms and acid before, and I've seen some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, this could be a hallucination. But the thing is, it's 100%. This is a fact.
Could be AI.
But still, it's a fact that it is impossible for anything to exist. It's impossible, because how does anything exist from nothing?
So how does it exist?
The fact that it exists, that we know, I am, or what is it? I know, therefore I am. Mm-hmm. The fact that it exists means that anything is possible. You just have to fucking figure it out.
But how does it start? That's my question. That's everybody's question, I would assume.
What's the meaning of life,
Not even the meaning of life.
As far as I know, the meaning of life, last time I tripped on Coricidin, me and my buddy decided the meaning of life was sitting down. That's what we decided at that point, was the ability to relax, to gain enough resources so that you can just relax and enjoy what this is.
Mm-hmm.
But what is this? We don't know, this is a reality that we know. But it's a very complex and difficult question that you're asking me. And I can answer it in many different ways, but it's never going to be a definite. This is all theories that I've developed. Like I said, it's impossible for anything to exist. Therefore, anything is possible. So we know that we exist, so anything's fucking possible.
If that's the case, do you think we're living in a simulation? Nothing can exist, but we exist. That's like a video game.
Yeah, but still, then who's the one behind the controller?
That's my question.
You know, there's theories out there about black holes where inside a black hole there's a whole other universe. You know, so
no, that's not new.
There are theories about that.
There's theories, but no, light can't even get out of a black hole.
Yeah, but look at like the building blocks.
What the fuck would be in a black hole?
Another universe.
Think about it for a second. Think about it.
Well, think about it like this.
What would be in a black hole if light can't escape it?
But the thing is, we don't know that for sure.
I know, but think about it.
We've only gotten one photograph of a black hole.
No, we got many now.
Well, now.
The last couple of years, yeah.
Over the past year.
They're saying
we got the first one within the past year.
They're saying every galaxy has a black hole now.
But that's a theory.
Shout out Pod Galaxy.
Yeah,
but they're
that's
saying,
a theory that there's a black hole at the center of every galaxy, a supermassive black hole.
It would make sense because every galaxy has a sun. Every sun's gonna die out eventually. So
but they're saying all become black holes.
But they're saying that sun. They're saying the sun turns into a dwarf, and then that somehow.
Let's stop saying sun. Let's start calling them stars because that's what they are.
Yeah, but it is a sun.
No, ours is our sun. That's the name that we gave our sun.
Right, but I look up and I'll see stars, and then I see the sun.
And some of those stars that you look at have fucking planets around. The fact of the matter is that in our galaxy, there are so many stars that you're not even seeing outside of our galaxy.
Do you ever think the fact that some of those stars have died and that what we're seeing
by the time we get the light
millions and millions of years ago?
Yeah.
Does that not fuck with your head? Because sometimes I think about that type of shit, dog. On real shit, I fucking freak the fuck out because I'm looking at something that's a million years old, and then like.
So you have an existential crisis when you do that,
dude. I have panic attacks sometimes.
I rarely.
Real talk, dog. I freak the fuck out sometimes.
Very rarely have existential crises.
I have a sense of calm in certain ways where I'll look up and it's just one of those like nights where everything's there and it's nice and enjoyable. And then other times I'll just look and be like, the light I'm looking at right now died 3 million years, and then I'll think.
And who's to say there was any living beings on that light that you were seeing?
Well, that's what I'm saying. And then I'll think.
They're now dead.
I'll think, I'll be dead in 100 years. What's going to happen?
Not 100 years from now, motherfucker.
What's going to happen in the next
70 years?
3 million years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, what's going to happen? And we'll probably never know. You know, we are so minuscule when it comes to the thought of the...
I'm fucking gangsta, dog. I'm going to make 100 years now.
Let's go ahead. Do it.
I'm gangsta, dog.
I'll do it too. I'm in 100 years.
I'm gangsta. I didn't think...
I die some weird shit where I piss somebody off as, I'm their boss and I fire them and then they shoot me and I die. I'm going to live.
I didn't think I was going to make it to 19. That was a huge story. I'm not going to discuss this.
I didn't think I was going to make it 30.
19, I had a huge moment too. Growing up as a kid, for some reason, as a teenager, never thought I was going to make 19. Something big very happened when I was 19 years old. I think I might have told you about that. I don't know. Did I?
Maybe. Did it have to do with oranges?
No. No. So I always thought I was going to die at 19. Always. When I grew up. Always, always, always. So I was with Krista, my first girlfriend. And we're in her basement.
It sounds real kinky. I like that.
All of a sudden, it doesn't get kinky. It doesn't get kinky. It gets interesting. So her and I did a thing. We laid on the couch, right? Completely sober. Didn't smoke. Didn't drink. Laying on the couch with her. Now, I'm 19 years old, mind you.
Yeah.
Laying with her, and all of a sudden, I'm looking, and my vision gets very narrow.
Okay, like tunnel vision?
It gets to tunnel vision. Yeah. Obviously, you got, your full spectrum. Starts getting narrow. Then my vision is gone, and then I hear marching drums, bro.
Really?
Now, I can't see. I'm hearing marching drums. And I wish I could find this song. I recorded it. It's called Stay Strong. One of my first records that I actually recorded. It's probably on one of my other computers.
With L2 Crew or?
No, way before. When I first started on my own.
Okay.
Literally 19 years old, before L2, before Block ID, when I first started creating music. I'm laying there, all my vision just goes here, and I hear a marching band. I can't see nothing, and all I hear is Stay Strong with a fucking marching band. This is why I need to find the song now that I'm thinking about. Stay strong. That's all I had in my head. Stay strong, stay strong. I remember that, seeing a fucking bright white light. Woke up 10 hours later. 10 hours later, dude.
No shit.
Krista was like, what the fuck happened to you? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you laid on the couch. You started talking some fucking gibberish in some other language that I didn't fucking know.
Yeah.
You passed out. She's like, I literally thought you died. She's like, I couldn't wake you up. Then I heard you start breathing. And I swear from the instance that I heard Stay Strong to that white light and then waking up, I swear it was a fucking second. And it was 10 hours.
No shit.
I woke up and then I wasn't afraid of fucking death anymore, dude.
So
it was the weirdest fucking thing.
That's pretty crazy.
It was the weirdest thing, dude.
So, you think about it like this. I mean, it sounds to me like you had a trip,
I was sober.
But what's to say that your heart didn't fucking stop? Your heart stopped and maybe you passed over and then your heart started back up and you came back. You just had an experience where you were dead.
Well, I don't think that because before then, I didn't smoke. I didn't smoke. I didn't drink.
I know, but you just said that she heard you start breathing again.
Yeah.
When she thought you were dead. So you might have died. Maybe you had a sleep apnea fucking issue. Where you died and fucking you came back. Who knows?
I don't know, but if that's the case, then that's why I wrote the song "Stay Strong." That's I just heard a marching band, dude, and then I literally made that beat and then recorded that song, and that's all I thought about.
Said it. I had to say it.
No, but that's what I need to find that song now. I would so love to. I think I did 3 verses on that. I would love to hear it, but that's how it went, and.
Pretty crazy.
I woke up the next morning, dude. I swear, dude, it was a fucking second from the night before to waking up. I woke up and wasn't afraid no more, dude. It was weird. I still think about death now, here and there. But at that moment, for years, I was petrified of death. I would wake up thinking, my mindset, I would wake up and a million years I'm going to be gone. A million, forever. And I would get in my head. And that morning I just woke up and was like, it's today.
I have the hiccups.
You have the hiccups?
Yeah, what the fuck? I hate the hiccups. Oh, God.
Grab a teaspoon of peanut butter. That's my cure.
That's your cure?
Grab a fucking big ass spoon of fucking peanut butter. I don't have any right now for you, but
yeah, no. Let's see if my cure works.
Hold your breath.
No, I have a weird cure, but we're gonna see if it works. I'm not gonna tell you until after. Can't do it on a hiccup. You gotta get a good full breath.
You either hold your breath.
Fucking hiccup.
Shout out to Pod Galaxy. Any of y'all listening, we appreciate it very much. I'm gonna be that old school corny. Hit and like and subscribe. We appreciate it.
Smash that like button.
Yeah.
So my hiccup cure works 100% because the hiccups are gone.
So we are going to be having some merchandise soon.
Yes.
That's in the talks. It's in the works.
We're going to get some beer koozies and some other shit.
Beer koozies, some t-shirts, some hats, stickers
galore.
Yeah.
You know? And maybe there's even talk about a Frisbee. Woo! Now let me tell you about my cure for the hiccups. It's fucking crazy because I don't have the hiccups anymore, right? I haven't hiccuped in a little while.
So far, so good.
So my cure for the hiccups is fucking insane, all right? And it works every time for me. So you take a deep breath without a hiccup occurring, okay? So if a hiccup happens, you got to reset. So you take that deep breath, and then you swallow 3 times. I swear to God, swallow 3 times while you're holding that breath. Make sure that the hiccup doesn't occur. If you take the breath and then you have a hiccup, you can't do the swallow 3 times. You have to reset, take another deep breath without a hiccup, and then swallow 3 times, and you don't have the hiccups anymore. At least that works for me.
Really?
Yeah, it works for me every fucking time.
I'll see
every single time.
Yeah,
just
the hiccups
watch me
for
do
like 20 seconds and now they're gone.
They're gone. And they were regular hiccups. My hiccups are quick, too. My hiccups happen like every 8 seconds, you know?
Did you ever look up the person that like had hiccups for like 20 years? How?
It was like 40 years.
Dog, how annoying would that be?
Oh, well, if I ended up with that syndrome, I would have only had the hiccups for like a month before I fucking blew it out.
For real.
You know?
For real.
Yeah, that shit sucks, man. Like, hiccups suck.
So you take a deep breath.
Deep breath without a hiccup occurring.
3
So
swallows.
if you go, you gotta restart. You know, but deep breath, swallow 3 times while holding your breath, hiccups are gone.
That's interesting. Mine, like I said, fucking big scoop.
Yeah, big scoop of peanut butter.
Big scoop of peanut butter, bro. It works.
But I'm allergic to spoons, so I can't do it.
What the fuck you mean? You're
I don't know. I'm just talking shit.
I don't know what I was gonna say.
You know, but so we've discovered the cure for hiccups, at least for me. I don't know if it'll work for any of you guys out there, but at least I know.
2 ways. So yeah, if you got the hiccups, deep breath. Don't make the hiccup get involved. Swallow 3 times. Lorenzo's good at swallowing.
Oh, I swallow every time. I'm not a spitter, bro. I'm not a spitter.
And mine is just fucking big clump of fucking peanut butter.
Why don't you guys try them both out and tell me what works? Next time you have the hiccups, we'll go from there.
Yeah, for real. If you got the hiccups, comment or say what got rid of it or what didn't, or your techniques to trying. That'd be an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Shoot us a comment. You know, it's cool.
So if you comment that, we can discuss hiccups on the next podcast.
And we check all our comments, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
We're starting to get a little following. We got some subscribers. We got some views. So I personally didn't really like listening to the 3rd podcast that we put out.
Not at all. We were kind of drunk.
To be honest, I think it was a little bit slow. And, I mean, the topics were good.
Well, we didn't really have a lot of direction either. We just kind of, like, started recording in the middle of a conversation.
Right.
You know, and then continued with it. And then we progressively got drunker to the point where I was talking about fat people. You know. And I think I need to clarify, what I really meant was that morbidly obese people, you know, morbidly obese people, they stink. You know, but still, I feel like I should retract my statements from there, but it is what it is. You know, I feel how I feel. You know,
but most of them do.
You know, but yes, we're gonna be starting to GoFundMe because we want to get cameras up so you guys can see us. So we'll get the GoFundMe going, and hopefully we can make the money. I think $1,000 is the goal.
Yep.
You know, $1,000 for the goals. That way we can get some good 4K cameras. You can see every single blackhead on my nose. You know, and
microphones.
Good microphones, so you can hear every single breath I take when I'm swallowing. You know, as I'm holding my breath, you can hear me swallowing and get rid of the hiccups.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that's the goal. And I think after we finish this podcast, we are going to set up the GoFundMe.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, definitely.
I brought it to you yesterday. If you're down with that, I'm down.
Yeah, we're gonna set up a GoFundMe.
I think that would work because $1,000 would get us everything we need.
$1,000, you know. If 1,000 people give us $1, we're there, and we can get the cameras, we can get the microphones, and we'll be all set. And we'll get some merch ready ahead of time. That way, we can, we're gonna have koozies, stickers, all kinds of cool shit to give out. And hopefully all of our subscribers and all of our friends can, offer us a little bit of cash, and we can offer you guys a little bit of cool shit.
Jump on board. I think Lorenzo and I want to make this podcast entertaining, but informational as well.
Yeah.
So, like, the people that know us know exactly, like, what's going on.
Yeah.
The people that don't know, we created this. It's kind of a spur of a moment thing, but then we kind of took it seriously.
The reason that we created it is because we do this so often, where we just sit down and we drink some beers and we have conversations.
Yeah.
And it's like it's
good
ridiculous.
conversations.
Yeah, good conversations. It's we don't have to like play beer pong or we don't do anything like that. It's just natural conversations that we have,
and it's so sporadic because we can be like talking about the most random bullshit that some audience will be like, that's funny, and then other shit we'll get real fucking in-depth about things.
Yeah, some people might get offended by the things we say, and it's I don't mean to offend people. I don't want to alienate anybody or leave anybody feeling disenfranchised, but
which we'll put the disclaimer, just to cover us.
But our opinions are our opinions, and we have every right to them because the First Amendment to the Constitution says we have a right to free speech. But I don't want anybody to feel bad. If you don't like the things we say, comment that. We'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem talking about it. The whole point is to open up dialogue and have conversations so we can get away from these shitty narratives that are being driven all over the world on social media, in the news. We just want to have natural conversation. And if you ever want to be a guest on the show, even if it's a Zoom call or whatever, you let us know in the comments. You can send us an email at what is it? info@podgalaxy.net.
Info@policy.
Yeah. Send us an email and hey, maybe we can open up a dialogue. We can have a Zoom call. We can talk about stuff. And I don't care if you make me look stupid. I'd love to have you on the podcast.
Absolutely. I got a couple guests in mind.
Yep, so do I.
And I think we're going to build. I like it.
Yeah, I think
starting from scratch and podcasts, especially these days with the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, look at all the comedians. They couldn't go do shows. They couldn't perform.
Yeah.
They started doing podcasts.
But what did we do the whole time, though? We were doing construction the whole time. We were working. Essential employees. We are essential. And, but the fact of the matter is we are essential. We do the work. And I honestly can't think of one profession besides being the CEO of Facebook that isn't essential.
So, going on the amendments.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Could you name top 10 amendments?
Nope, I can name 2. I can name the first 2. And the 4th. I can name the 4th.
What's the first one? And then I'll tell you how.
The first one's the right to free speech.
All right, so this is from the National Center for Constitutional Studies. First Amendment.
First Amendment. Right to free speech.
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech of or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Okay.
Now, if that's the case, let's look at what happened couple months ago at the Capitol. the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So people feel Trump got fucked over, so they would have the right to petition over that, right?
Yeah. You have a right to organize as well.
Would that be a First Amendment? I mean, not the violence part.
No, like that's never okay.
Yeah, not the violence part. And just FYI, the government official that worked there that they claimed got beat over the head with the fire extinguisher, that didn't happen. He actually had a stroke when it was happening, and then later on died from the stroke.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that clear.
But the thing is, like, all that intense energy that's going around in that situation, people are going crazy. People are fucking, stealing, stuff from the place.
It doesn't matter. They blamed.
You could have a fucking serious health issue just from the stress. But they did blame it on somebody beating him over the head, which is not okay.
No, they blamed
information. Yeah, fake news.
They blamed that intrusion, and that's the cause of this guy's death.
Yeah,
which is not.
They also don't talk about how the doors were just opened. People opened the doors for them to come in. There was a lot of selfies taken.
Security was like, "Yeah, come right in," and then they're gonna show all the footage of them bashing it.
All of the bad shit that happened was not okay. I will not ever sit here and say that, the burning down of federal buildings, the burning down of any building, the breaking into stores and looting is okay when, BLM does it, but it's okay when fucking Trump supporters do it. No, fuck that.
No.
It's all wrong. We can't do this kind of thing.
So, amendment number 2.
The right to bear arms, sir.
Yep. A well-regarded militia being necessary to...
well-regulated militia.
Yeah. Being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
The Second Amendment protects the right to keep and bear arms. And we have every right. There's no reason that anybody should stop us. I do believe in education.
What's that have to do with guns?
Well, it has everything to do with guns. I believe in firearm education.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about, if I'm not opposed to like having to take a course, before you can own a gun. I love living in New Hampshire because we can just go buy guns, But there's a lot of fucking people out there that are fucking stupid with it.
Well, I say the same thing. You need your driver's ed course to get a license.
Exactly.
You need a gun course to own a gun.
I can tell you a story.
That's fair enough.
I can tell you a story about fucking gun ownership. Gun Buddy B is the one that came over. So Buddy A goes to show Buddy B the gun. So I believe that education on firearms is super important.
Yeah, you gotta teach exactly the in and outs of guns, how to take them out,
or at least just trigger safety, man. Trigger safety, trigger discipline is important. Even when I grab, like, say my screw gun or my drill at work, my trigger discipline is so good that my finger is always up, even on a fucking drill. It's just natural to me.
Yep.
And I think that has to be something that people learn. The Russians do it. They take apart AKs in their high schools and teach these kids about them. We need to be doing the same thing. Every single American should know how to handle a firearm safely. Yeah,
I agree. That'd be a good high school.
Yeah. There used to be firing teams in high schools, but we've gone away from that. I do believe that gun safety is important. The Second Amendment is important. We have the right to bear and keep arms. We have the right to keep bear arms. So if I went out and bought
Third Amendment
off a bear.
Third Amendment. Do you know what it is?
I do know this one. I do. This one...
Because you looked it up.
No, I thought this was the Fourth Amendment. But so now I know for sure. The Third Amendment prevents any armed forces from living in your house, from taking over your household and staying there.
No. You're a little little mixed up with facts. Third Amendment is the housing of soldiers.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Soldiers cannot live in your house.
No, this is the opposite.
Let's go.
No soldier shall. Actually, no. The way
No,
you
it's
worded
exactly
it,
what I said.
You're right. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quarantined or quartered. Let me rephrase that. I'm on the quarantine shit.
Yeah.
So,
quartered.
Yeah. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without consent of the owner, nor in time of war,
Consent.
but in a matter of what?
Consent, not consent.
So you're reading the same shit I am.
No, I'm listening to what you said. I have a different explanation that is much more simple.
No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by the law. The fuck is prescribed? That just says like, hey, so we can say this.
If we have a civil war, then the government can say we need to have people in your barn.
We're probably gonna have a civil war again.
I don't think so. I think that we are going to.
We have a civil war with words on the internet. I think people are too pussy to say, all right, we're really gonna fucking fight. They're not gonna get thousands of people to
group. A lot
group.
of the people that are fucking saying all this stuff, all the people that are canceling culture, they don't own
Fuck
guns.
the cancel culture. That shit
They're not going to come up to the people who own guns and do something about it.
No.
It is what it is. Like,
of course not.
I believe that every American should own a gun because an armed society is a polite society, you know?
They don't want that shit.
So my description of the Third Amendment is, you know, the Third Amendment prevents government from forcing homeowners to allow soldiers to use their homes. That's it. You know? Hey, do you have one of these chargers? Regular micro USB?
Which one?
Regular micro.
Yeah.
You can
check that first drawer.
Yeah, you can delete this from the podcast later. But I have one in my truck I can go get.
I'll give you my own personal one right now.
It's one right here.
Got it?
Yeah. Can we plug it into your computer? Can I remove this? You don't have that wireless mouse anymore, right?
Yeah, I do.
Are you using it?
No, not right now.
Or do you have an extra USB on that side?
Yeah.
Are we Gucci? Yeah, like I said, you can edit this shit out later.
That's the HDMI.
Oh, what a fool. Oh, and this shit don't even fit. Never mind. We're gonna delete this later, guys. Oh, what the fuck?
What?
It's a fucking USB-C, not a micro. You piece of shit. I go to my truck and get one.
Out of my look at the fucking truck.
I'm gonna go to my truck and get one.
That one?
That's it. No, that's a USB-C. No, I'm going to my truck. Can you put me in here? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm about to have a Nick fit if I don't fucking get this. Somehow I was at like 50% earlier and I'm at 4 now.
The fuck?
I guess I've been cheating.
So, amendment number 4.
Oh.
Protection from unreasonable searches and seizures.
That is so important. Which, with all this like kicking down the door shit, no knock fucking searches.
So the summary of this is the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath and or affirmation. I can't read tonight.
It's okay.
And particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
Yeah, so this is huge because they've been doing the no-knock fucking searches. And, like, I understand if you have evidence that this house is, like, a drug house or this person is, like, a fucking, he wants to go kill people. A no-knock search is literally an illegal search and seizure. So I once had an issue, or actually, somebody I know once had an issue. Not me, somebody else, where they got pulled over. They had been smoking weed, and the cops pulled them over, and it was a really weird situation because the cop was on the side of the road, way off the highway from where they were, and they were stuck in traffic, and they looked at the cop, and the cop came out and pulled them over, and then decided that he was going to search the car. And he didn't have permission, and he was like, the person asked, why do you need to search the car? And he goes, because I smelled weed. And the person was like, you smelled it from all the way over there.
So many cops are like that. That's just a poor excuse.
It's a poor excuse.
Yeah.
So the guy searched the car, like ransacked the car, left everything all messed up.
Do you have a canine?
Took all the weed. No canine here. Took the weed, which was like no weed in the car, weed in the pocket of my friend, and it was like half a gram, ground up, ready to go. And took that, left 3 bongs in the car, and took a bunch of other stuff. And tried to charge the guy, like literally let them go, didn't even arrest the guys. And then 2 months later, they received a letter in the mail saying that they had a summons to court, and they went to the court. And then there was like 7 felonies that these guys had to fight.
Jesus.
Had to fight 7 felonies over half a gram of weed, a couple bowls, and then the bongs that were left over.
See, that's fucked up, right? So, about 10 years ago, my cousin was drunk driving, got in an accident. He had a quarter pound of weed on him. They found it. When they went to court, the police only charged him with 2 ounces. He straight up sat up and was like...
2 ounces less.
Yeah. He straight up was like, where'd the other 2 ounces go?
Yeah.
He told the judge straight up, like, I had a quarter ounce of weed. A quarter pound of weed. And he was like, where'd the other 2 go? And cops fucking took that dog.
Yeah. So when when my buddy was going through that court case with the 7 felonies, it was really messed up because police officer didn't ever show up to do a testimony.
Right there, the case should
have been dropped. But my buddy went through the court case for 2 years. Showed up every 2 months to court down in Massachusetts.
Sounds like a hassle.
Oh yeah, every 2 months for 2 years, went down to that court case. Cop never showed up, and they never dismissed it over him. But if my buddy never showed up, he'd gone straight to jail from 10 to 15.
Amendment 5. Protection of the rights to life, liberty, and property.
Absolutely.
No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a precedent or an indictment or grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life,
Double Jeopardy,
or limb. That's a great movie, Double Jeopardy.
No, that's what that is. It's Double Jeopardy.
I know, but that's a great movie. You ever watch that?
Yeah.
Nor shall be compelled in any, criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without compensation. Amendment 6.
Hold on. We didn't even discuss Amendment fucking 5, you prick.
Well, we're on 120, so we gotta kind of wrap
It's
up.
okay. Amendment 6 is the right to... Oh, God, I know this. Oh, so it's the right to, like, a fast, speedy trial.
Amendment 6, right of accused persons in criminal cases.
Yeah, so you have the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury.
And
That's it. Don't read the whole fucking thing if we only have a certain amount of minutes. Just get the gist.
I'm going to read it too. I can read quick. In the criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy trial and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and the district wherein the crime shall have been committed.
I know this one because of my buddy who had to deal with that shit in Massachusetts when he had half a gram of weed in his pocket. That's how I know that one. And I know the 7th too, because it just makes that even more important. It extends the rights to a jury trial.
7, and suits of common law where the value and controversial shall exceed $20. $20. The right of trial by jury shall be presented, and in no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in a court of the United States than according to the rule of the common law.
Yeah, that way a jury can't be like partisan or partial. You know, the 8th Amendment.
Excessive bail, fines, and punishments forbidden.
Punishment. It's cruel and unusual punishment.
Excessive bail should not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel or unusual punishment inflicted. Yep. 9.
This is a good one. Can I read this one?
Sure.
The 9th Amendment states that listing specific rights in the Constitution does not mean that people do not have other rights that have not been spelled out.
That's what you got in yours?
Yeah.
The words mine is other rights kept by the people. Wow, they worded it completely different.
It's only that many words?
They worded it completely different. No, I just read it to myself.
So fucking read it. This is the layman's terms that I got.
I'm trying to think of this first word. I can't even pronounce it.
Let me see it. I'll pronounce it. Let me see.
The enumeration.
The enumeration, yeah.
So the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage other restrained by the people. That's what I'm saying. My words are way worse than yours.
Yeah, so you're reading the exact words, I'm reading the fucking dummy terms, you know?
Yeah. Amendment 10. What you got for 10?
The 10th Amendment says that the federal government only has those powers delegated in the Constitution. If it isn't listed, it belongs to the states or the people.
Mine is pretty much the same. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but realistically, the people have no fucking say.
You smash the back of your phone dropping that art.
That's fine.
The people don't truly have a say anymore because Congress, the House of Representatives, these motherfuckers really give a shit about what we say. They say call your congressmen, call your representatives, but they don't ever care nowadays.
You know what I'm kind of interested in?
What?
Shutting this podcast off and listening to fucking... They were saying...
you're talking about President Joe Biden.
Every president has at least... Yeah, he's a pedophile.
President Joe Biden.
Yeah,
same guy, right?
Uncle Joe Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes to make out with his fucking granddaughter.
He likes to sniff little girls.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm down to listen to that too. So, honestly, I don't think it's appropriate to call him that. He's still the president, you know. I'm not going to be as petty as the people were with Trump.
No, I'm sticking with that. I don't agree with that. I don't
You do whatever you want. You're your own man, but I will not be as petty as the people were towards Trump because I am not a fucking petty person.
I'm not being petty. I'm just saying he's a petty.
This is a good time to end this segment.
There's videos of him sniffing little girls, bro.
I get it. There's all kinds of shit everywhere, you know? We don't want to fucking put that shit out there.
We're not,
it's
but...
stupid to do so.
We're not, but he's still Uncle Joe Petty to me.
That's fine. You can call him Uncle Joe Petty.
On that note,
Goodbye,
Podcast
guys.
Galaxy!
Buy our merch.
We don't have merch.